think we could, in theory, start. Okay, let's give it a little bit longer. So basically, what I did last week, I started to ask a couple of questions on my Facebook page as a way, to engage a little bit. I don't find my chat. I don't see where the chat is. Do you guys know where the chat is? Because then I can see. I can see that there is something popping out. But anyway, okay. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, guys, I don't see the comments at the moment because I don't know where the chat is. I'll try to troubleshoot that. Give me a little bit of time. But basically what I wanted to do today, kind of like a surprise hangout in a way. I've asked a couple of questions to you guys probably about a week ago on Facebook to kind of like engage a little bit in the discussion, the more live discussion. Also because I'm running out of time and I want to answer all the emails that I get, but it's a little bit complicated at the moment. But it's the hangout. It's a little bit of a more private, more direct way to interact. Oh, Oi, Frank, is that you? Yes. Okay, so basically, a couple of questions that I've asked were, what is the thing that you would like to change? Let me go back so I can read the questions again, because I collected some of the answers. There we go. So if I go to my Facebook, anyway, feel free all the time to just hit me up on Facebook, or I'll make some posts. Also Instagram, I'm quite active. The question was a very simple one. What is the thing that you struggled the most from a business standpoint as an artist? Please let me know. I was thinking about it for the last week. So I think yesterday or a couple of days ago I thought to ask you this question. Anyway, hi Frank. So some of the answers were actually very powerful. There was an answer from Paola that it's the fear of running out of money, which is a fair thing to be afraid of. And the thing about fear, I mean, it's really difficult now to just jump into the discussion like this. But the thing about fear is that, I don't know where I read this, but fear is a liar. Fear tells you that you cannot do certain things. And in my own personal experience, I found out that this is the case. Fear really is something that will keep you from doing anything. And I discuss this every single day with people that approach me. I want to do this and I have this project and I would like to do this. And then they tell me that they are afraid that they're not gonna succeed. And there was I was discussing this topic with a friend of mine. Also, his name is Fabio. He also does a very funny podcast, but it's in Italian, on his YouTube channel, Fabio Bertozzi. And he mentioned that, failure is actually a subjective thing, which I agree with. You fail the moment that you decide to not try again. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, you do something and you fail at it, but as long as you try, you're still kind of fighting, the situation in which you're in, okay? And as long as you don't give up, then you cannot really call it a failure. And in a way, I agree with this. I mean, take for instance my YouTube videos. I started making YouTube videos in 2008, and I had no idea what I was doing. The only thing is that, I was not, call it consecutive, I was not consistent, I was not delivering on uploading the videos. Also, I did not really know what I was doing. And eventually there was a time during this YouTube life of mine in 2016 where I decided to start uploading and never stop. Now, there were times where I could not upload, but of course that did not stop me from uploading. I did it. I didn't do it as often as I could, but that was because I had my own problems. And eventually, the fact that I continued, even though it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, allowed me to remain on the platform and allowed me to continue making these videos. So, very often we fear things that could happen, but eventually they might never happen. Also, it's one thing that I always battle with my clients is also the fact that very often when we talk about fear, it's because we are not prepared enough. I mean, it's a little bit hard to put this, but there was a time when I was really helping out, in a project. How can I put this without disclose any of the details? Anyway, I was very much involved in a design project, put it this way, that I got to know everything about that design project. And very often I would debate certain topics related to this project online with some other people. And the fact that I knew so much about this project, that I was an expert, so to say, about this project, really empowered me, so to say, into having a discussion about that project and to take a lead on that project. It's a little bit difficult to explain without saying, which project I'm talking about, but, talking about that specific episode, I could not have any fear not to know what I was talking about because I did so much work. So very often, fear also comes from that aspect of us trying to do something, okay? And one thing that I try to do, myself personally, all the time is that, okay, if I am interested in something, I make a research and I try to work really hard to kind of understand more what I'm doing. And more often than not, these has kind of worked. Yes, I have changed a little bit the direction of my vlogs. And hi Danny. Hi secessione viennese. And the reason for that is that I don't know, I was looking at my vlogs and I felt like a little bit responsible. The people that were watching my vlogs, I felt like they were not getting anything out of me making these videos. When actually, the idea was always to make something entertaining, something that, the idea was always to share my life as a designer, but I realized that there was very little about the design aspect in it. And probably the reason for that is that I thought it was boring. So, I was like, maybe nobody's interested in knowing what it's like to be a designer. But anyway, so I hope this kind of explains a little bit the my vision about fear. I don't believe in fear. To be honest, it's sorry, let me rephrase that. Of course, I'm scared all the time of doing any kind of things. I remember the first time that we launched the D2, I was terrified. But at the end of the day, the difference between those who do and those who don't is that those who do, do. So you might be scared, you might, really think I'm gonna look like an idiot. I mean, think of me, for instance, talking to a camera in front of an audience. These are risks that, in a way, if you have a vision and you wanna kind of live your dream, these are things that you just have to face. And, there is no better way to face things than just do them, Then, of course, there is a video that I'm working on right now where I talk about financial independence, and there are things that you can do in order to strategize and kind of reduce the room for errors when you try to do new things. And you should do that, of course, because I'm not asking anybody to jump blindly into new things. But in a way, fear cannot be one of the things that holds you back. I mean, unless you're saying, okay, you know what? tomorrow I want to fly a plane, and then you go to the airport, you steal a plane. You know, you should be afraid of doing that also because it's illegal. But if your dream is to become an actor and you have been not doing it ever in your entire life, then, you know, take some acting classes. I mean, I'm taking acting classes myself online with a master class because, of course, you know, I think, how do I look like when I talk to people in front of the camera? And, you know, would I be able to play in a movie? For sure not. But, you know, what's the risk in trying? Actually, talking about acting, I know the mother of a very old colleague of mine in high school, that when the husband passed away, she went into deep depression, and she found support into a basically support group, which, you know, came up with this idea to make a play. And then they did this play, and this play went sold out all over the city in Naples. And mind you that Naples has like 5 million people. So this became a very big play. And now she's an actress, and she started at the age of like 50, 55. So you see, we talk about fear. It's always relative, you know. I think that if you're afraid to try something and you don't do it just because you're afraid of the consequences or what people might think, you know, then you'll never do anything. I don't know. This is my take on this. You know, I'm not trying to be a motivator or inspiring anybody. It's just honestly the way I see it. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna scroll through the comment very quickly. Thank you very much. Yes, actually, there is a discussion at the moment about portfolio reviews. I'm planning this a little bit. I can tell you some of the future videos that I'm going to make. One is with a dear friend, we are going to kind of tackle the idea of what is the best rendering computer or computer to make renders. We're working on that. Then I'm planning a video with another friend of mine, Chris, on how to... It's not on how to, it's a reaction to some of the client comments, put it this way. Another video that I'm working on is how to chase clients for payments. Yeah, I cannot think of anything else. Anyway, another question that came up was, what's the best software to do 3D? Now, we're gonna start a software war by trying to address such a question. Hold on a sec. Hold on, give me a second. My wife is outside of the door. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, yes, as I was saying, you know, you'll start a software war which is useless. You know, it's I personally started, I think, with Rhino to make 3D, and then I started using 3ds Max. I hated it. I could not use it. Please don't hate me for that. Then I made the switch to Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D was love at first sight. The guy that taught me Cinema 4D was a genius, a wizard, and he taught me a lot of stuff. At the moment, I'm playing a little bit with Blender because I kind of like the idea to, you know, do open source. I worked a little bit with Modo in the past. I've had a course with a senior designer from a motion picture company in London, where this course is still ongoing. I'm trying to learn some new stuff. What else? I don't know. I like to render with V-Ray. I've been using V-Ray for a very long time. I worked a little bit with Corona as well in the past. Now I'm trying it again, and I have to say that I really like it. And I don't know, just pick a software and do something, you know? I have friends that can do fantastic stuff by using a mouse, okay? And they do beautiful paintings, and the software, it's really not the you know, they see the software as a tool, as a mean between them and the computer, and that's it. And this is also what I would say, if it's the software where it's keeping you from learning, then pick up Blender 3D. It's for free, and you can do everything that you want to do. Good. Another question was, how do you raise your prices with existing clients? That's a very good question. So, when you have an existing client, you need to consider that client almost as a partner. What do I mean by that? Like a girlfriend or a wife, okay? I say this to everybody. If you think you're making too little money working with that client, either you explain the client, listen, with the next 2 or 3 years, I need to look at a 20-25% economic growth, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to keep the shop open. If the client says, okay, let's do it, then what you can do, you can start to increase your prices gradually, all the way to the deadline of 2 years, where you're gonna reach that milestone, and then probably the client will say to you, okay, but then we fix those prices for, say, another 2 or 3 years, whatever. If the client is not willing to cooperate and to talk about this issue, again, you need to consider this as a relationship. You need to break up with that client. Of course, ideally would be to work with those clients, and all the new clients that come in, you simply offer them the same type of service, because they will come to you for the type of service that you'll do, hopefully. And you'll just ask for more money. And the more of these jobs will come in, the more old clients you can let go. This is the strategy that works the most. I've had a situation where I was able to talk to my old client and telling him, listen, we are way too low over the next year. This is my timeline. In this quarter, I look for a 5% growth, and then next quarter 7%, and then 12% until we get to where we need to be. Some clients said, oh, sorry, you understand that client doesn't see you as a partner to work over time. It just considers you as a commodity type of service, which, as I've discussed already in past videos, it's something that you cannot really rely upon, because eventually what your goal should be as an artist is to kind of create your own identity, your own type of service / product, and offer that for the price that you think you are worth. Okay, so I hope that shines a little bit of light on this topic. Okay. Yes. Guys, I just wanted to do a very quick in and out kind of live, just to spend a little bit of time with you, because I see that you're participating and you're asking a lot of questions either on Instagram or Facebook, and I wanted to give a possibility to everybody to listen to these answers, because very often I write an email to somebody and that answer is lost in that single email, when actually here I can share them with you guys. That was everything that I wanted to discuss with you tonight. Let me know if you like this kind of format, because I do plan to do more, to do some hangouts, something without a clear goal in mind, just to spend a little bit of time together and eventually, bounce ideas off each other. Also, another thing, yes, there is a video now that I'm going to release hopefully on Tuesday, which is about the Maslow pyramid of hierarchies. Maslow hierarchy pyramids of needs hierarchy. God damn it, what is it called? Let me Google it. Maslow hierarchy of needs. There you go. You see, it's a mouthful. And it's going to be released hopefully either Monday night or Tuesday morning. I'll have to see. But anyway, as I said, leave me a comment. Let me know if you kind of enjoy this type of format. I want to keep it a little bit lighter, a little bit more relaxed than the videos that I make. When I edit. Oh, and by the way, the next video, I've tried really hard to kind of make it funny and entertaining. I don't think I'm gonna be able this time, just go with it. But I think it's going to be a very important video. It's going to be a very important video. Just watch it. I guarantee you're going to enjoy it, and you're gonna find a lot of value in it. And that's it. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I will see you on either Monday or Tuesday.